Massive episode here today. We're talking about players skyrocketing the rankings. Who is doing amazing in training camp? Who should you be targeting in your fantasy football drafts? I'm going to get you fully up to date here today. And on the show, I got way more insight coming from the great, the powerful Walter from walterfootball.com, who's got a lot of insight, who's got his feet on the street. He's got his ear on the ground, whatever you want to say. We are ready to inform you and get you guys ready so you make executive and proper decisions for your fantasy football drafts because we are full flow fantasy football season. That's a handful there. What's going on, Walter?
Not much. Just got back from Vegas, placed some bets, entered the super contest in the Circuit Millions, and it's awesome to be great and powerful. I thought maybe one or the other you'd say, but both. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. So thanks for having me on, Joe.
You know, it's not even right calling you great and powerful because I had Jim on and I had Tim on. I'm calling him that. Since your name is Walter, why don't we go stick with the W? Why don't we go wise and wonderful? So you're like www, you're like a website, right? The wise and wonderful Walter. Do you kind of like the ring to that? I kind of like the ring to that.
I'd rather be wise than great and powerful, you know, because when you get older, you know, you're not going to be great and powerful anymore. You can always be wise, though. So I think we should stick with that.
All right, so I'm ready to dive in. I'm not messing around today, man. No more of Breaking Brad. Connor probably won't make an appearance today because there's so much to cover in the training camp here. So I want to just kind of get right to it here. But we want to start off with some latest news notes without Breaking Brad today. So I will simulate the Breaking Brad. Ready? We now have breaking news. Not even close. Not even close.
I thought that was pretty good. To be honest, I thought Brad was actually here.
I tried, man. I absolutely tried. Okay, so a couple of things I want to cover here. Yesterday, Zach Moss was released on Wednesday, July 30th. And as you guys know, I release this in the morning here for you. So sometimes our news might be a little bit behind, but Zach Moss released. It just reconfirms and reassures me that Chase Brown is looking better and better. They believe in this guy, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a stud. He's a great player to draft end of the second round. I kind of wish they didn't do this because, some people like who are kind of clueless and might be like, oh, maybe Zach Moss will take back the touches. And then they see Zach Moss being released and like, oh, I guess Chase Brown is the guy, even though he was all along. So Chase Brown's ADP might go up like a spot or two. Which is unfortunate if you want Chase Brown. So this is actually like bad news for Chase Brown if you wanted to draft him. But I mean, obviously it's great news for him regardless.
Yeah, man, it's going to be really good for Chase Brown. They really believe in him. They got Tajay Brooks, who I believe is a 6th round pick, who's also 3-down workhorse capable. Not the fastest guy, doesn't have the breakaway speed, but apparently his pass blocking is good. He's not a bad player. So, I mean, there could be something there with Tajay Brooks as a late round guy, but I'm not holding my breath. What do you know here on? There's a bunch of injuries with Malik Neighbors. I guess it was a toe, and then it was a shoulder. Now, what do you have on Malik Neighbors?
So Malik Neighbors was interviewed by Kay Adams, and he talked about how his toe is giving him problems. He called it like a mosquito that goes away, and then Kay Adams is like, "Oh, mosquito you can squash," and he said, "No, a mosquito that's always going to be there all year." And so that's a little concerning. Like when do you hear players be pessimistic about their injuries? Like usually they're like, oh, no big deal. I'll be ready week 1. Like they say that all the time. Like remember Robert Griffin was like, I'll be ready week 1 off the 20 ACL I suffered in January. You know, like they're always overconfident. And then like Malik Neighbors is not. So that gives me some concern. I've been drafting Malik Neighbors a lot. I love his talent, but like suddenly like I'm a little worried that like maybe like because the Giants are gonna be awful this year. So like week 15, week 16, week 17. If they truly have a terrible record and they're in position to get the top pick, they might be just like, all right, let's shut him down, get him 100% by 2026. So that's suddenly a concern that I have for him.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned, especially for a 1st round pick, but he's their only offensive weapon that's really going to make an impact. But speaking of, we'll get to training camp in a second, but Cam Scatterbo, we're going to talk about him in the show as well. Someone kind of skyrocketing. But Malik Neighbors, man, really kind of concerning here, but he is believed to be okay after falling on his shoulder in practice on July 29th. And it's going to be very interesting. Now, again, the notes I'm reading here are saying not overly concerned. I would be concerned if my player fell and he's my top offensive weapon. To say not overly concerned kind of concerns me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the shoulder, I'm not too worried about. It's the toe really, because like the shoulder could just go away in a couple weeks, and
Yeah,
it's still just it's July. It's a couple of months away, a couple of days away from August. But like the toe, he said is going to linger all season, and I'm kind of concerned or like puzzled as to why he didn't get surgery on it. He said he needs surgery on this toe. I'm like, well, why didn't you get surgery in the offseason? Then just get rid of it, because he had this issue dating back to LSU. So I don't think it's going to affect him on the field. Like I still think he's going to be a great player, and he could be the receiver one for the first 2 months, maybe 3 months. But like if by like I said before, week 15, if it's bothering him, they might just be like, okay, let's sit out. And obviously, you don't want that to happen because that's the fantasy playoffs. So it could really backfire if you draft him.
absolutely. Other things in the news here I do want to talk about here. We got Devin Singletary has been taking almost all of the first team reps in training camp with running back Tyrone Tracy. I mean, Devin Singletary, I'm not concerned. And against Cam Scatabo has been really emerging there on that team. Honestly, Cam Scatabo, a lot of big runs. I've been posting on my social media. If you are interested in a guy later, Scatabo could be the real deal.
He could be. It's it's like three-man backfield right now. I think it'll be two. I think it'll be Tracy getting the big runs, and then Scatabo getting the goal line touches. And it could be Scatabo taking over eventually. I mean, we'll see. Like he posted like very poor agility scores at the combine, so that really concerns some people. But he could be a good fantasy asset. I just don't like where he's being drafted. He's going like 9th round. I was hoping that like a backup like him was going like 11th round, 12th round, 13th round. Then like
Right.
I think it would be a no-brainer to take him. But like you have to pay a premium in the 9th round to draft him, which it's looking like a better option. A couple weeks ago, I would have said no way. But now that he is looking good in training camp, there might be something there. It's just you already have to pay a high price for him.
Anything else here in the news and notes here that we want to mention? Well, yeah, Brandon Ayuk still does not know when wide receiver Ayuk with his knee issue will be able to return after tearing an anterior cruciate. What is it? Anterior cruciate and medial collateral ligaments in his. Dude, remember this guy was like crying, saying, "I need to be paid like big dollars," and he needs, and look what he's done nothing, and now he's injured. Like, aren't you glad they didn't get? Like, I'd be glad I didn't pay him big bucks. Remember how he was crying?
Yeah. Yeah, the torn ACL and MCL is so tough to come back from. I wouldn't draft him at all. I see him going like 10th, 11th round in all the drafts I've done. As you know, I've done a million drafts. I've actually done like 131, like
Wow,
131 drafts, and he was like early, like April, May, June. He was going like 8th round, and I'm like, what are you people doing? And then now he's going like 10th, 11th round. So he has slipped a little bit, but he's still being drafted way too high. I think if you really want him, if you think like maybe second half of the year he comes back and does something, I wouldn't take him to like the 16th, 17th round. I just because he's going to give you nothing until then. I personally will not touch him at all.
definitely, man. There could be some problems there for sure, and you got to watch these lingering injuries. Speaking of lingering injuries, they're saying it's not going to linger, but Justin Jefferson, man, like it's a hamstring thing, and they're saying we're not concerned. It's not going to linger. So we're talking about 2 first-round picks who I've got no stock in. Well, Malik Neighbors, I do. I have been in one league, but Jefferson, I don't have any stock in anywhere because I'm going running back round 1. That's why I'm sporting the, as you can see, Raiders hat here. I'm a big Genty believer. You guys know it. But when you look at it, like Jefferson lingering hamstring, should we be concerned there? I would think for sure. Like this is a concern.
Yeah, soft tissue injuries, they tend to linger. That's what they do. And so what happens is sometimes these guys come back early. And so, he's saying he could be ready week 1. What if he should be back like week 3, like with this injury? And he pushes it. He comes back week 1. He plays, has a great first half. And then coming out of the tunnel, second half, he tweaks his hamstring. He's out for 3 more weeks. It's just a nightmare if you drafted him in the first round. That could just torpedo your league for you. So you should be concerned. If he comes back earlier, then yeah, it's going to look better. But right now, I think you definitely have to downgrade him in the first round.
Absolutely. Other than that, man, Isaiah Likely as well, ankle, and not a guy I'm drafting anyway. I'm going to have 0 Likely. It's unlikely that I'll have Likely on my roster. So I'm not really concerned there. I think he should be ready week 1. Are you hearing? I'm hearing what it was an ankle thing, and he's done. Like he's pretty much done for like a long time, 6 weeks. I'm hearing, could be ready to return week 1, but who cares? Like I have no stock in this guy.
Yes, 6 weeks is exactly week 1. And it's not a soft tissue injury. So like I'm more to believe that he's going to be ready over Jefferson, but obviously he's far worse player. I have him in like 3% of my drafts. Sometimes I take him like 12th round or 13th round. I believe in his talent. Like, he's a really talented guy. The problem is Mark Andrews is there, but there's always a chance that Mark Andrews is traded. Andrews is an older player; he can get hurt, and like if Andrews goes down, that suddenly Likely is going to look a lot better. So this could actually be a good thing if you like Likely, because he could drop because of the injury. Like, if he drops to like the 14th round, kind of like where Mike Gesicki's going, and suddenly he's going to look like a better value there.
Yeah, I mean, I have no stock in that guy. Looking at some notes here, the whole episode is going to be notes because we're talking about players in training camp and trending up. It's a camp report ultimately, right? So let's get right to that. Let's get to some of these players and dive right in, because there's going to be constantly news happening. Player gets arrested, player gets hurt, player gets blah, blah, blah. It's constantly going to be happening. That's why you got to follow my Insta. I'm reporting this in my story mode, by the way, and on my Instagram. So go to my Insta, turn on notifications, follow my story, and then that you're going to be right up to date there, because you're going to have pretty much a DM, like a notification saying Joe posted, and you're going to be up to date on the news. And then there's a Discord group. I've linked it below as well. You guys can stay on top of things there. So that'll be how you stay on top of stuff. Make sure you guys do also grab the 16-round draft solution, sleepers, breakouts, optimal players, everything you need to smash your league. Grab 16 rounds. I've linked it below. You'll be light years ahead of the sheep. Use code WIN to save. WIN to save. I know you saw Smash. That's an old banner there. Use code WIN to save. 16-round draft solution. Save you 20%. Grab it below. Do not draft without it, okay? Let's roll through these players. I know, Walter, we got a lot of players here to cover. And the first one I want to talk about here, we're not going to spend like 10 minutes on each player. We're just going to kind of just have an open discussion. But Emeka Egbuka, this is a player that I loved coming out of the draft. I didn't like the situation with Godwin, but now we don't know if Godwin's really 100%, and then you're hearing praises. He's as advertised, and Mike Evans is praising him, and the coaches are praising him. It's like, these are good signs out of camp. What else have you heard out of camp that we should be aware of with Emeka?
Well, I mean, I've been all over Ibuka. I'm drafting him like 10th round, and then he moved up to 9th round, and then I've been drafting 8th round. Like, he's the second highest owned receiver I have in all the drafts I've done. And I was always bullish or bearish on Chris Godwin being healthy. He has 4 separate injuries. He had 2 surgeries this offseason. And this reminds me a lot of the Christian McCaffrey stuff from last year, where they're like, oh, maybe week 1, we don't know. Like, that's the same thing we heard from McCaffrey, and then he was out to like the midseason. I don't think Godwin's going to play till like week 7 or week 8. Like, I really think it's going to be Igbuka as the 2. And then Mike Evans is 32 next month, and he has a long history of hamstring injuries. And obviously, the older you get, the more injury prone you're going to get. It's like, what if Evans goes down, and we already know Godwin's hurt? Like, Igbuka could be the number 1 there. And as I mentioned, I was in Las Vegas. I bet Egbuka to win Offensive Rookie of the Year at 40-1 odds. I like him a lot. So, you can't take him early enough. Like, I did a draft last night. He went 6th round. That's the earliest I've ever seen him. But yeah, I love Egbuka. I love his talent, and the situation is looking better and better.
That's wild. So I'm reading his consistency and football IQ have been the buzz as Mayfield has become confident in his abilities, not only as a route runner, but with reliable hands and understanding of alignment and performances from multiple spots on the field. Amazing stuff, man. Emeka Egbuka, great value. And this is why I say you can wait on wide receiver. So many people go heavy wide receiver. They'll draft a Jefferson who's dealing with a hamstring injury, who's had multiple successful years and a decline is eventually imminent, or they'll draft a Jamar Chase coming off a pinnacle year. Nothing wrong with these guys. I think they're great, but I think you should be loading up on the most scarce position, which is running back, and stacking a bunch of these rookies later, man. They're going to break out. And the problem is, Walter, this particular year, and as a draft analyst with these NFL players coming in, these wide receivers are being slept on. And that's the feeling in the sense I've gotten this entire offseason, is that this is not a wide receiver class. But, man, there is some great wide receivers talent-wise in great positions, and Emeka is just one of them, man. I'm telling you, this is going to be big.
Yeah, there are maybe 2 receivers, or at least 2 that really go off. I know you're a big fan of Dante Thornton. I am as well. By the way, I bet him Offensive Rookie of the Year at 200-1 odds.
Wow.
So I think that he's going to have a great season. There are a couple of these guys. This receiver class is not as good as the last year's, but there's still some really good players like Travis Hunter, like love Egbuka, love Thornton. Pat Bryant, I think with Denver could have a good season. Like there's some good gems here, and you could get them in the late rounds or mid rounds. You don't have to like reach on them like you have in the past, or at least with like Tedroa McMillan this year. He's someone I don't like, but there's some other guys who are going to be like really great steals this year.
Let's keep going here. Some guys, other guys skyrocketing up the boards. We talked about Amika. The next guy is Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's a must-draft player. A guy I was excited about before training camp, and I'm just hearing nothing, but I'm just reading notes here. That's why you see me looking down, looking at screens. I've got notes. I've got scouting reports. I've got training camp notes. I got latest. Like right now, I just hear something. I'm just hearing something just come across my screen right now, with Calvin Ridley limping somewhere. I got so dude, if you see my notification, like look at my, like I won't show you what, but look at this. Woo! Like I'm just scrolling. You can see here, like notification after notification. We're gonna have to look up that Calvin Ridley thing as you're talking there. But Marvin Harrison Jr., man, it's just like wild. Like there's so much going on in camp, just him making like outstanding catches. And here's the thing, he's the alpha. There's nobody else there. Like, how are you feeling about Marvin, man?
Cutting into the season, I was like, I was pretty excited to draft him. I assumed that he was going to go like 4th, 5th round because he was such a bust last year.
Yeah.
But like he's going mid 3rd, so you're not getting that much of a discount on him. But I think that I like him. Like I've been drafting him quite a bit. Like I like Jackson Smith and Jigba a lot as well. So he's like in the same range. And now you have Marion Hampton. We're going to get to him too. I do like Harrison. I love the talent. The only concern I had in the past was Kyler Murray, his injury history. Like he just never stays healthy. I know he did last year, but like now they have a good backup in Jacoby Brissett. Like he's a premium backup. It's not like Clayton Tune anymore. Like Clayton Tune comes in, he's going to ruin anything you have with Harrison. Also Trey McBride. But like now with a good backup, you really don't have to be worried about Murray too much. So I like Harrison in the 3rd round. I just wish he was going a little bit later because it feels like we should be getting more of a discount, but we're not.
No, you're getting a wide receiver 1, premium talent. Only no way but up for this guy. I love him. I absolutely love him. And I don't have to spend a 1st round pick on a wide receiver 1, ultra elite with no competition. Sign me up everywhere, man. I'm telling you, man, he's the real deal. In regards to that Calvin Ridley thing, it was something that came across on my X account because I get like updates. So it looks like Calvin Ridley has been dealing with some sort of cramping in his right calf, because I do have some Calvin Ridley stock. Apparently, he limped off to the locker room favoring his right leg. So maybe it is that right calf. They need to stretch it out. So nothing serious, hopefully, for my man Calvin Ridley, who's primed for a massive year.
Yeah, I hope not. I have him 19% of my draft, so that would be pretty brutal if he's hurt.
Another guy I want to talk about. Let's shift over to tight ends here. Tyler Warren lighting up training camp, and this is why I have a lot of stock in him. I ended up drafting him in my big money league, my 2K buy-in league, back in like late April, because he's an upside tight end who was drafted with extremely high draft capital by the Colts. They obviously believe in him. He can catch the ball. You know your scouting. Again, Walter knows his stuff. He scouts these guys. He looks at these guys, him and his team at walterfootball.com. If you're not following the website, go right now to the website, save it as a bookmark it as a favorite. You don't want to miss out here on some crucial information all season long, walterfootball.com. But Tyler Warren, amazing talent. And the thing is, they don't have a true, I keep saying this, they don't have a true wide receiver 1. Like Pittman sucks, Downs is meh, Alec Pierce is due for a contract year, but what has he done? And from what I'm hearing, it's going to be Daniel Jones, and like he's coming out on the field first, like kind of getting first team reps and stuff like that. And I don't know, unless Richardson does something outstanding, it might be Daniel Jones to start this thing. But I think they still think that Richardson is the future there. What do you think of Tyler Warren, the situation? He's going to be used all around, isn't he?
I drafted Tyler Warren more than any other tight end the summer, except for like a couple late round guys. So I like him a lot. He's a freak athlete. He should have been the first tight end off the board. I don't know why Colston Loveland went ahead of him. I thought that was a little crazy. But Tyler Warren's just a phenomenal player. And you're right. Like the Colts don't have like a true number 1. Actually, I do like Josh Downs. I've drafted him quite a bit in like the 8th round. Alec Pierce is someone I drafted a lot, like 16th round. And he's having a good camp, by the way. He looks pretty good. And like you said, contract year, so that might be part of it. But Tyler Warren, like in addition to just being a stellar tight end, if you're like worried, like I'm afraid of rookie tight ends, even even though Brock Bowers was ridiculous last year. Tyler Warren also could get goal line carries. Like he did that. Like he's like the tush push guy. He could get some touches away from Jonathan Taylor at the goal line. And so I think if you're expecting that, like you might actually be rooting for Daniel Jones to be the quarterback. Like, first of all, Jones is the better passer, and second, Richardson not being in there to take the carries away at the goal line, you could have Tyler Warren sneak in a couple of touchdowns this year. So that's like a bonus. It's a bonus you're getting with him.
Dude, I'm so excited about Tyler Warren, man. And I'm getting him. I have to get him in the 7th round for most of my leagues, 12-person leagues, a lot of best ball. I have to get him in the 7th round. He just doesn't get past that. Then I would imagine that his ADP is going to continue to rise. Absolutely love him. I want to also stick on the tight end here thing. And then we've got so many other players to talk about here. Just general conversation of like full training camp. Oh, I'm getting more news here. Man. Just stuff coming up. We got Xavier Restrepo, the wide receiver for the Titans. He got a good little run, and he's saying basically he's starting to light up training camp. So there's more stuff. Xavier Restrepo. And there's a chance I can get him on the show. Let us know if you want Xavier on the show. I've got his agent's contact. We've been talking. He wants to get him on the show. He's another guy I'm looking at. And we're actually the next guy at tight end here, Elijah Arroyo. I'm looking to get him on the show as well. Elijah Arroyo, Seattle running back. Seattle tight end. And he could be a primary pass catching tight end on that team with the leaving of Noah Fant, the cutting of Noah Fant. What are your thoughts? The scouting reports you've read on Elijah Arroyo. How special is this kid?
Well, he would have been a first-round pick if it wasn't for some injury concerns. So, he went in the 2nd round. Seattle, I think, got a steal because you can never like tell what injuries are going to happen. There have been injury-prone players coming into the NFL and like they suddenly stay healthy, or like healthy players come in the NFL, they get hurt. Like I feel like that's overblown. And so you're getting like a first-round caliber player with Elijah Arroyo, and they cut Noah Fant for a reason. Like, if they didn't believe in Arroyo, they would have kept Fant. But they truly believe in this guy. From all accounts I've heard, Arroyo is looking fantastic in training camp, which is not a surprise because we had him in the first round of our mock drafts for a long time until we heard this injury stuff. There's no receiver 2 in Seattle. Like Cooper Kupp is done. You have Valdez-Scantling's just a deep threat. He's going to have like 3 great games this year and do nothing otherwise. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba is a stud, but you need a number 2, and Elijah Arroyo could be that player. So I definitely like Arroyo. I've drafted him a lot in like the 18th round. I expect his ADP has gone up. It's popped to like 17th, 16th round, and I still think like he's a good value as your tight end 2 there. Real quick on Restrepo, the Cam Ward specifically asked the Titans to sign him.
Right.
He was this guy in Miami, and so he could be like a nifty slot guy. I don't think he's going to have like a massive year or anything, but he could be like a good option, late round option, like PPR.
Yeah, man, there could be tons of upside there if he connects. And then with the waiving of Treylon Burks, he's gone. So, and then now you're hearing Calvin Ridley with the cramps. So, yeah. I mean, there could be something there, man. Restrepo, man, big time sleeper.
Yeah, I might draft him in the 20th round today. I should do like 3 drafts per day. Like I'll probably draft him today.
Some excitement. Another guy here I want to talk about, which again, you and I talked before the show. We sent each other a bunch of names. I'm just adding to this roster of players that are skyrocketing. I do want to talk about Travis Hunter. They're calling him the unicorn, playing both sides of the ball and looking impressive on both sides of the ball. Now, I've seen him line up with Brian Thomas Jr. as they're doing like sprints or moving. This guy moves better than Brian Thomas Jr. I don't care what anybody says. Like, this guy is like something else. Like, when you're talking about a physical specimen with speed and agility, and there's something here, man, and it's enough to turn me off of Brian Thomas Jr. round 1. Do you feel that Hunter, how are you feeling about Hunter, man?
I mean, I like both guys. I've drafted both Thomas and Hunter on the same team, and then backed it up with Lawrence. I think Jacksonville's offense could be awesome this year, and it's like really concentrated. It's like the old Tampa days when they had Evans and Godwin, and that was it. I feel like this is kind of like the same offense. They only have Thomas and Hunter, and then they have no one else. So I feel like Lawrence could have a big year. That's the big thing here with Lawrence. He has to bounce back. He's been injured the last 2 years. If he stays healthy with this new coach, I think that Jacksonville could win the division. I have bet them to win the division at like 3-1 odds. I think Houston's on the decline. I think Jacksonville's going to have a great year. And like Hunter, you're getting him at a discount now. Usually these guys rise up in ADP. Hunter was like late 3rd, early 4th back in May, right after the draft, and I thought that was a little too rich for my blood. Like now he's going, I'm getting him at like 601, 602. That's a steal for a guy who's super athletic and just going to be it's going to have high usage. And think about it this way, like Jacksonville surrendered a first round pick next year to get him. Like they're going to have to justify this pick. So they're going to like even if he disappoints, which I don't see happening, but even if he like is not as great as a receiver as they think he is, they're going to manufacture touches for him. They're going to find find a way to get the ball into his hands like one way or another. And I love his talent anyway. So like you have that on both ends. So he's a great value in the 6th round now, like especially given that he was going 2 rounds earlier a couple months ago.
Yeah, I think he's going to be enough of a thorn buzz for Brian Thomas to put like. Here's the thing with Brian Thomas. I don't like him. I don't like him in the 1st round, period. This is a guy I was telling everybody to draft 8th, 9th round. This year, I'm not paying it. I'm not paying a 1st round pick for Trevor Lawrence's wide receiver 1 with Hunter there. Not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. I have no stock. And I want to stay on here with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. I do want to talk about Tank Bigsby. I know you mentioned him. What are you hearing reports-wise on Tank Bigsby?
Well, I mean, anyone who watched the Jaguars running backs last year is not surprised. Tank Bigsby is looking like the best running back in training camp, and it's not really close. And I don't understand the hype with Travis Etienne. He's going like 8th round, 9th round. I see him sometimes. Sometimes he sneaks in the 10th, but like last night I saw him go 8th round twice. I'm like, what, why? Like, what is going on here? It feels like people just remember that he was a 1st round pick, but they didn't watch him. Like he just is not a good player. Yeah. And you have Bashal Tutin, who's injured now. So you have Tank Bigsby is the best healthy running back they have. And it still wouldn't surprise me if they traded ATN because those are rumors that happen. You heard them back in like April, May. He's never traded. But like as you know, as training camp progresses, maybe a running back on another team gets hurt. I feel like the Jaguars could move ATN because they don't seem to like him very much. And Bigsby is the best runner on that team. So I've been taking him recently, like 13th round or so. I think he has a lot of upside in that offense. And you saw what Liam Cohen did with his running backs last year in Tampa. Like this is gonna be an offense that's gonna be a lot better than it was last year.
Yeah, Bigsby could really emerge. I'm not sure they believe in ETN. Wasn't there like rumors? I think they were saying months ago they wanted to trade ETN. I don't think they really believe in that guy. And Tutin's got his fumbling issues and all that stuff. And so Bigsby could really emerge. I don't know. It's a bit of a committee approach still. I feel I'm not, feeling warm and fuzzy, but if there's a clear path for this guy to emerge and be the workhorse, there can be a ton of volume here for Bigsby. Could be an exciting sleeper.
Yeah, I mean, suddenly if ATN's traded, that's going to look a lot better. Like imagine if ATN were traded like tomorrow, Bigsby would go from 13th round to like 6th round or 7th round.
Yeah,
and I still think that could happen. And even if it doesn't, ATN is looking like crap, and so he could just be the backup there. So
ATN was never good. People always thought he was good. I always said he's just not that good. So.
No, people think he's good because he went in the 1st round and he had a good Clemson, a good time at Clemson. Like, yeah, he has not looked good at any point in his NFL career.
All right, let's keep going here. I got Jameson Williams, new offensive coordinator, apparently likes him a lot and wants to get him the ball. I'm not a fan of this guy at all, but another situation where it's a new offensive coordinator, new team. I know you said you're not touching the Lions, but another situation where it's like, okay, Amon-Ra St. Brown, round 1, safe, but decline imminent with a new situation where they want to get the ball to the stud that is Jameson Williams, who is a great best ball player potentially, but could emerge as a starter. Thoughts on Williams?
Well, I have touched the lines, but negatively. I bet them to miss the playoffs at plus 175. I think they're going to have a bad year, like relatively to what they've been. Like I have them going 9-8 in my season previews, which I have on the site. Their offensive line is a huge concern. They lost 2 of their best interior linemen, including Frank Ragnow, who's one of the best centers in the NFL. They have a new coordinator. They have 2 new coordinators, but we don't know how good this John Morton guy is going to be. He coached with Detroit before, so there's some familiarity, but like he's not going to be nearly as good as Ben Johnson. Like I like even if he's a decent coordinator, like it's still a downgrade. And this is going to be the first time Jared Goff is going to be coached by someone not named Sean McVay or Ben Johnson. And so I think that since his rookie year, I should say, this is going to be a decline all around for Detroit. In fantasy, I have not taken these guys at all. And so Jameson Williams, I'm just passing on him every time because he's just going too early. But he's going to be one of those guys who's going to have like a huge blow up game and then do nothing for like 3 weeks. So he's good in best ball for that reason. But the problem is he's going like in 4th round. So like if he's going 6th round, I'd have interest. 4th round, just way too early for him.
I also want to talk about Gibbs. Gibbs. While we're talking about the Lions here, Jahmyr Gibbs, from what I'm hearing, and let me just tell you exactly what I'm hearing here at a camp. Now, the thing is, like, it always used to be where Montgomery would kind of come out on first team reps and he would always be out. But it seems to me like the script is changing, where one thing that they're noticing in practices is Gibbs is usually the first back on the field with the starters. In the past, you'd often see Montgomery get a bulk of the carries before Gibbs takes the field. There's a clear pecking order going on in practice, and Gibbs seems to be the beneficiary. So maybe finally, based on what they saw, which was the final 3 games of the last season, he totaled 487 scrimmage yards and 6 touchdowns with Montgomery being injured. He just couldn't be stopped. And this is what I was saying even before people took notice, is why isn't Gibbs the full workhorse running back? Gibbs would honestly shatter, and I'm not just saying break, I'm saying shatter every running back record known to man, rushing, receiving, name it. He would do it if Montgomery went away, because Montgomery is literally taking away 200 rushing attempts, 12 touchdowns. We're talking about a 30 touchdown rushing season out of Jahmyr Gibbs if Montgomery sat. And he played healthy and he played the full season. So Gibbs, he's looking better as a first round pick now. It doesn't look like they're believing in Montgomery as much, man, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Ben Johnson call. Ben Johnson loves multiple running backs, and I think Montgomery's still going to be a factor this year, but he's definitely going to take a step backward. It's going to be the Gibbs show, and I think Gibbs is less likely to get impacted by all this Detroit stuff, because even if the offense is worse, which I think it will be, they're going to be trailing more, which means they're going to have to throw more, which means Gibbs is going to get more receptions. I think Montgomery is the Detroit player to get hurt the most out of everyone. I would not draft Montgomery at all. He's just going way too early. He's going like 6th round. He should be going like 9th round. Like there's no reason to take him that early at all. So I'm not a believer in Montgomery. And you're right. Like if Montgomery would just like get injured and it would just be Gibbs, I think he would probably be in play for the #1 overall pick.
Man, my phone is just continuing to go on with. I can't keep track of this stuff. That's why we had to do this episode. Yeah, but we're covering a bulk. We're basically casting a big net on everything and trying to cover as much. Your guy here, a guy you're high on, I think he's a great player. I include him in the 16-round draft solution, is Ricky Pearsall. It seems like the path to him getting more and more volume becomes more and more clear here with Ayuk banged up. But a healthy CMC is going to get his fair share of receptions. Kittle's going to get his share. And where does Pearsall work into this? I know you're higher on him. Can you sell me more on Pearsall?
Yeah, I mean, he's the wide receiver 1. You're right, McCaffrey is going to get a bunch of touches, but I heard a stat the other day that McCaffrey has missed 43% of the games since 2020. Like, wow. This guy's not going to stay healthy. Let's face it. Like, no, the question is not whether he's going to play the full season. The question is he going to miss 10 games or is he going to miss 4 games? Like, right. He's going to be out for some portion. Kittle is 32. I still think he's got a good year, but there's going to be some regression from last year. And you have Juwan Jennings is banged up. Right now, I think he's going to be ready by week 1, but right now he's nursing an injury. And as we talked about earlier, Ayuk is going to be out until at least the midseason. And so that just leaves Ricky Pearsall. And I love Pearsall coming out of Florida. Like, he has elite agility scores. Really, he profiles as like a fantastic player. I mentioned this before on your show. He was my #1 sleeper last year until he got shot. And yet he still returned late in the year. He had some good performances. You kind of saw like a glimpse of what we would have seen all year with him. And now, like, with Samuel gone, Ayuk hurt, and like a bunch of other guys like with questionable statuses, like, he is the receiver 1. There was some concern with like a hamstring earlier, but he's returned. Like, he's returned to practice. So there's not going to be like a CMC factor with Pearsall. So I think he's going way too late. He's going like late 7th, early 8th. I think that's way too late for a guy like him.
He could be an absolute gem, honestly. Ricky Pearsall. A couple other players I want to talk about here, very important. And the next 2, I wish I had more stock in, honestly. I feel that they're going to be my regrets. But Amari and Hampton, I think this Najee eye injury could be worse than they're letting on. And last time hearing about Najee's was a couple days ago. He's on the sideline in street clothes wearing sunglasses. Like, dude, I mean, there's something wrong here. You're not playing for one. That should be your key indicator. And then not only that, you're reaffirming our suspicion that your eye could be worse than it is. You're actually wearing sunglasses. Let's see your eye. Tell everybody, hey, man, this is my eye. I got to go check this. Is he saying I'm good? Like, I'm not hearing anything saying I'm good, I'm playing. Like, you're not even on the field, dude. Dude, this gets me so excited about Hampton. I wish I mean, this is the thing. I draft so early. It's not. I go draft more teams right now and get more Hampton stock, right? But I wish I had more Hampton stock in the teams that I drafted. I'm about 14 teams deep, 2 major money leagues, and about 10 to 12 plus best ball leagues. I do have Hampton stock in those best ball leagues. I got him in about, I would say, 30% of those leagues. So I love this guy, man. I really love him. And I just saw a video of training camp finding the holes, looking explosive out of them, man. Omarion Hampton, does this guy make you giddy as well?
Yeah, I mean, like before the Harris injury, I was a little worried because Jim Harbaugh's an old school coach. Like he's like one of those guys who stick with the veteran. But now he can't because Najee Harris may not be able to see very well. Like this could be like a serious thing. Like if it was a minor eye injury, he would have just went to the regular doctor, just had maybe some eye drops or something. It would have been fine the week later. But like. This was a July 4th injury, and it's going to be August 4th in a week. Like it's almost a whole month now that he's not practicing, and every day that he's not practicing is another day that Hampton gets to impress the coaches. And so, like, I'd be shocked at this point if Hampton's not the RB1 to start the year. So even if Harris is able to return, which we don't know if he can. So Hampton, like, his ADP has risen. Like, he was going like mid 4th, and now he's going mid 3rd. But like, even though his ADP is higher, I'm drafting him more now because like it's pretty clear that he's going to get the opportunity, despite like the Chargers having the old school coach I was talking about.
Dude, I'm so excited about this guy. Like, I'm so excited about the Chargers offense because I got a lot of Trey Harris stock. And there was an injury recently, wasn't there? Something with, I don't know if you read this, Ladd McConkey or something was a little banged up. I don't think it's, I posted here, Ladd McConkey's a couple days ago on the 29th, and we're already on the 31st. Undisclosed, will not participate in practice on the 29th because of a minor injury. That's a good sign for Trey Harris, I would think, if I'm starting to read stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a minor thing, so I wouldn't be too concerned with McConkey if you like him. And this is going to make you a little sick when I say this, but we talked about this on the show, my show last night, which we do. We go live. Quentin Johnson is reportedly having an amazing training camp.
I heard.
I don't know if I trust it, but like we did 2 live drafts on my show last night, and I was convinced to take him in the 11th round both times. And I'm like, this could be a nothing, but like he was a first round player. Like, what if he's just a late bloomer? We've seen that before. Like guys having 2 bad years of coming on. Like we have seen that sometimes. So I don't know. I'm not like too sold on it, but that is something that to consider at least.
Yeah, coming from a guy who did mixed martial arts. Okay, so when we spar, we used to push hard when we used to spar before a fight. But when you're actually in that fight, it's a different game. So he's just going to get back in that game and start dropping balls. Like I got that feeling, man. And either way, if he does well, it reaffirms my suspicions that Ladd McConkey's a bust. Because Ladd McConkey only benefited because there was no Trey Harris last time. There was no, and Oronde Gadsden's doing well. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. Oronde Gadsden is doing, it could be a good receiving tight end as well, especially in that red zone, possibly. The Chargers, right? So you got Gadsden, you've got Harris, who's a true X, going to be the alpha, already showing camp. He's creating amazing separation. And then you have Quentin Johnson who's stepping up. And remember, Ladd only had 112 targets last year. He finished as like a 12, wide receiver 12. Still not a lot of targets, man, if you're drafting a guy in the second round knowing it's going to be more of a diluted situation. So not only does he have a worse situation, you got to pay a second round for Ladd McConkey. He is screaming bust for me. I see these things, and people don't see them. They just say, oh, Ladd McConkey. Maybe you're on the Connor train as well on this. I think, are you a Ladd advocate based on what I just said? Probably are, aren't you? I think you believe in this guy.
I drafted McConkey a little bit. I like other options in the second round more. Like I like AJ Brown is going in the same area. Like I think he's a much better
for sure.
player. Yeah, like he should be going like 109, 110. Like he's going, I got him in like 207. Like what are people doing here? If like all the options I like in the second round are gone, like I take McConkey sometimes, but like I usually don't. Like I think he's going like a tad too early. I still think he's gonna have a really good year. And something that I think you have to remember is that the Chargers last year had one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, so they were able to run a lot. In the second half they were way up against bad teams. This year they have the 10th toughest schedule in the NFL, so they're gonna have to throw a little bit more this year. So I think there are going to be more targets to go around. You mentioned Gadsden. We talked about Trey Harris. Maybe Keandre Lambert-Smith plays a factor. And then, of course, McConkey and then Quentin Johnson Johnson. We'll see. Yeah, a couple of reference points for Johnson, like players sucking at receiver and then emerging. Like Reggie, I remember Reggie Wayne. He came out of Miami looking pretty bad for the Colts, and then he kind of emerged later. Javon Walker, another guy, he struggled early, and then it was great. Joe Horn. Like there's some players who it doesn't happen often, but it does happen sometimes where like players have one bad year or two bad years and then really emerge. So I wouldn't like completely give up on him, but like you're right. Like once the lights come on and he has these big games like that Baltimore game Monday Night Football. I don't think I've hated a player ever like as much as Quinn Johnson ever, because I had a big bet on the Chargers in that game, and Johnson dropped like 4 big passes in the fourth quarter, and like that ruined the Chargers' chances of winning that game. So I have this bad feeling about him. I don't know if I could draft him very much, but like it's not impossible that he finally blooms into a decent receiver.
He's just like a body catching deep threat is what he feels like. He'll get that lucky ball here and there. He just doesn't look like someone reliable at all, to be honest. But I mean, you can look good in camp, but when push comes to shove and the tire meets the road, we're gonna have to find out.
Yeah, there was an Eagles receiver a long time ago, Todd Pinkston. He would look great in practice, and then the games would start, and he would do nothing. He would catch 2 passes. So that's definitely something that could be happening here too.
I believe in Trey Harris. I think he's going to emerge as the one. I don't see any doubt about it. That's what I'm feeling here, and I get him in the 9th round. So sign me up. Anyone else we're missing? I know we talked about Scatabo a little bit. We touched on him. I think there could be something there. Is there anybody else that's really jumping out here that we're missing here? We covered a lot of players, man.
I was told this yesterday that Alexander Madison is actually leading Jalen Wright as the RB2 in Miami. So if you're drafting in 20-round leagues, maybe Madison in the 20th round. I don't know if I buy into that, but imagine a scenario where like Madison, Achan's hurt, and then like Madison is the guy in the fantasy playoffs for you. Like that'd be kind of bizarre. I don't know if I could draft him, but that's something I've heard as well. As some other stuff, like Keaton Mitchell, the Baltimore coaches were saying it's gonna be tough to get the ball to him. He's such an electric player. Like he's one of those guys, you get the ball to him, you can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. The problem is Derrick Henry's there, where like the last time we saw Mitchell getting bulk touches, Henry wasn't there. So like Henry is still going to be the primary guy, obviously, unless he gets hurt. So just a couple other guys. I mean, there's so much news going around. Stuff changes every single day, and you have to keep up. So like you were saying, Joe, like definitely follow Joe on Instagram if you're going to give all that information out.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, you don't have time for this. Like, you guys have day jobs. Go focus on your families. Go focus on your day jobs. Let me do all the dirty work and put it into scoring mode. So go follow.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are too good for this. Let me do all the dirty work and I'll just deliver it for you. There's a lot of threads and feeds and channels and websites I'm following to get this information. So I'm trying to put as much into it and keep my finger on the pulse basically here for you. So make sure you guys are following at Fantasy Football Counselor on Instagram. Head over to walterfootball.com. So these are players that are skyrocketing the rankings, just doing well in training camp. We have to highlight one more player before we go. I'm not high on him. I know you are, is Jaden Blue. Too much of a committee there. And he's not going to be the one. I don't trust the Cowboys. They've completely disrespected the running back position in regards to or just neglected it or just being ignorant around it completely. They just I don't understand, man. You've needed a top running back 2 years in a row and you've neglected that position. I don't know. You like Blue. I'm not really sold on Blue, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I'm taking him 13th round, so it's not like I'm drafting him early. I think talent will win out eventually. They have Javonte Williams. Miles Sanders stinks. He's not even a factor.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams is the guy there. Williams had 4 amazing games to start his career. Then he tore his ACL. Has never been the same since. And unless he finally recovers, I think eventually they're going to figure out they have to give the ball to Jaden Blue. It's kind of like last year, Rico Dowdle. We call him Rico Doodle on my show. He was someone to start the year, he had Ezekiel Elliott there, he was not doing much. And then they kind of figured it out in the second half of the year. They're like, okay, this Doodle guy is better, much better than Elliott. And so second half of the year, Doodle had a great second half. I think the same thing could happen with Blue. First 6 weeks, maybe you're not going to get much. But I think second half of the year, especially fantasy playoffs, he could be a league-winning player in the fantasy playoffs if they're Williams sucks, Sanders is even worse. Let's give the ball to Blue, see what he can do in the fantasy playoffs, and then he has a great finish. He could certainly be one of those players. So that's why I'm drafting him in the 13th round, just the late season upside with him.
Yeah, could be something there when you put it that way. When you look at the talent ahead of them, I mean, I'm not banking on a Javonte Williams injury. That's the thing, and I think Javonte would be like the little engine that could and just kind of keep putting away. So it'll be interesting. I'm not wild with either one of those two running backs, but Blue, I'm not really excited about either. So you got to pick and choose, and Blue doesn't make the cut for me personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to mention one more guy. We talked about him a little bit before, Dante Thornton. So all the news was like he's running with the first team and stuff like that. I asked Charlie Campbell, who's like the most accurate mock drafter, because he has so many sources. He has two separate sources with the Raiders, and I was like, Charlie, is this legit? And he came back to me and said that both sources separately said this guy was absolutely legit, and he's going to have a huge season. And so I was already drafting Thornton a lot, and like now I'm even like more. This is like a lock for me almost that he's going to have a great year. That's part of the reason why I bet him at 200-1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So it's like $50 to win 10 grand. So please root for me that comes through.
Well, he was on the show. You knew that before you started coming on. I had Thornton on the show. Did you watch the interview? I don't know if you had a chance to watch.
I did, yeah. You had him on like a month ago or so. Yeah, I remember. I remember that interview. It's a good interview. So yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't. But yeah, he's just a amazing talent. I don't know why he fell to the fourth round. Just someone with his profile, like the 6'5" frame, 4.3 speed, and it's just like, why wasn't he the second round picker earlier? It just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna have an awesome year. And by contrast, Jake Besh looking pretty bad by all accounts. So I would not touch him.
Not looking good, no. Besh. No,
not at all. No.
Okay.
In fact, he's might be like the fourth or fifth receiver at this point.
Yeah, this is good. So Thornton is emerging. I hear he's running first team, and that's where Brock Bowers round 2 doesn't make sense to me. He was another beneficiary last year because they had nobody else there. They had no Denty. They had no. Bowers is a bust. I'm telling you right now. I'm warning you. Bowers is a bust. I'm screaming it from the roof. I'm gonna have to get up on. I was in Niagara Falls yesterday. And I have to post the next video. We're going to post my interview with, if you haven't checked it, go check my Instagram where I was asking people how to pronounce Bijan. Did you see that video yet?
Oh, I've been a little discombobulated come back from Vegas, but okay. I haven't seen. I'll look forward to that though.
I'll post it on our next show here when you come on, and we'll show it to everybody. But for the YouTubers that don't follow my Instagram or aren't in tune with Instagram, so some people just like to stay on YouTube. That's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna scream it from the rooftops or from Niagara Falls or from somewhere. Don't draft Brock Bowers. That's it, man.
Yeah, not only is Thornton there, but they also don't have a noodle arm quarterback anymore. So like they can get the ball downfield. Like Bowers second round's too early. Third round, it's okay. Second round, way too early.
I'm not doing him at all. Done. I'm giving Tyler Warren round 7. End of discussion.
Yeah.
That's it, man. WalterFootball.com. Check it out. Go grab the 16-round draft session. We're gonna get more Walter on. It's going to be exciting. I'm pumped up. Walter, we got to get you on more.
Yeah, I'd love to be on. Thanks for having me on. Visit walterfootball.com. We have tons of content there, not just fantasy, but picks against the spread, mock drafts. We grade every signing, grade every trade. So, and it's all free. So come check us out.
All right, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, go grab 16 rounds and have yourself an outstanding day. Skyrocket to the moon, players. There you have it.
Bye.